Pokemon shippings develop across all forms of the Pokemon anime. Some people like Misty and Ash, May and Ash, Dawn and Ash, the next one we don't talk about, and then we have the best shipping for Ash, Amore shipping. Amore shipping, in my opinion, is the best shipping for Ash Ketchum, due to all the advancements him and Serena had. Plus, I just think Serena and Ash were written to be with each other anyways. If you guys really want to know how I feel about Amore shipping, just watch my Serena What Ifs. This shipping, though, is not with Ash. In fact, I'm going to be talking about one that happened a long time ago that you may or may not remember. This one, I also think, is the most underrated one in Pokemon. Before I get into the main ship though, I want to talk about one that I almost consider the best. So with that being said, let's jump onto the relationship and sail the sea of love. So the first shipping comes from a fan favorite protagonist of the Pokemon anime, being Brock. A lot of people love Brock. He has an amazing personality, he's kind-hearted, and he has a will of stone. Not to mention, he's also helped raise all of his siblings, whom there are many of. Brock was practically a father to these kids. Plus he also knows how to clean, cook, prepare Pokemon meals, and he's a gym leader. So overall, he's very hardworking and responsible. All these traits make for a very good potential mate. These traits are also what makes Brock one of the best protagonists in the entire series. The personality he has is so incredibly awesome, so you think he'd find someone who would fall in love with him. You think he wouldn't because of how many times he has gotten his ear pulled or poison jabbed. A lot of girls think Brock is just a goofball, funny, and don't take him seriously. It's sad to say, but it's true. Usually, there is one girl who did love Brock and his goofy antics, and that girl was Pike Queen Lucy from the Battle Frontier. I also think that Susie was a potential shipping, but Pike Queen Lucy actually fell for Brock. In the Battle Frontier arc of Pokemon, Ash made his way over to the Battle Pike so he could win the luck symbol. As always, Brock hit on Lucy, trying to spit his game, and for once, it actually worked. Lucy lit up, and she wound up falling for Brock from afar. However, the ear had to get pulled. Lucy was the best shot Brock ever had. She liked him, and she didn't pity him. He even yelled in the stand as Ash battled her, "We would be the best couple," and she lit up. It was so adorable to watch. Towards the end as well, Brock confessed his usual love routine, and she received it super well. She legitimately seemed very happy that he did that. She even said, "I looked into the beautiful eyes of someone I met today." Lucy is so wholesome and adorable. You gotta really feel bad for Brock on this one, because he could have had the love he was searching for. Okay, now let's get into what I consider to be the best ship in the Pokemon anime. Pokemon Advanced started the debut of this amazing ship, and I'm of course talking about May and Drew. Fans across YouTube and other forms of media call the May and Drew shipping contest shipping. And it makes sense because, duh, Pokemon contests. A lot of people are so focused on Ash Ketchum shippings that they forget about the other characters in the series sometimes. However, for the people who do remember this ship, I applaud you. May and Drew meet very early on in the Pokemon Advanced series, which is the Hoenn part of the Pokemon anime. At first, May thinks Drew is kind of a snob and a show-off due to his attitude and how sure of himself he is. He is an excellent Pokemon coordinator, and as Roselia is also an excellent Pokemon contest performer. In the Slayport contest, May and Drew have their contest battle. What's crazy is this is May's first contest battle, and she loses. But from then on, her and Drew are actually rivals. As May gets better at Pokemon contests, Drew starts to take more interest in her. In fact, I'm going to go through a variety of episodes and explain the buildup of contest shipping and how May and Drew blossom. Throughout contest shipping, we see Drew throw May roses, and at first, it's kind of hard to get what he's doing. But on episode 326, it starts to become a little more clear. On episode 326, Come What May, May wins her first official contest ribbon. Drew is impressed by this and throws her another rose, except this time, May makes the comment, "I suppose this is for Beautifly?" Drew replies with, "Yeah," something like that. I'm going to say that is heavily implied, saying it was for her. I would also say the other two roses were for her as well. So I think Drew has always had a small crush on her, just this time, it's a heck of a lot more implied. Red roses also symbolize love. So I mean, hey, think what you will. Going on to episode 337, May calls out her Skitty, and Drew makes the comment, "May's looking more confident." This means his interest and respect for May as a coordinator are starting to really show. This is Drew slowly starting to open up, I feel. At this time, Drew's Roselia also got hurt, but instead of focusing on his Pokemon, he came to watch May compete. Then he compliments her when she has her Skitty use Assist, and says it's a bold move and she may win this match yet. I feel this goes beyond rivalry because he wants her to win. That's how I see it anyways. In episode 388, May and Drew fall down a waterfall together, and May is trying desperately to save the unconscious Drew. Shortly after, they get saved by Wynot and are then put into a cave. Drew is still unconscious for a bit though, and May is constantly asking, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" checking on his well-being. These all sound like worries from someone who really does care for that person a lot. Also on top of that, come on. They make them fall down a waterfall together, and they get separated together. Sounds like the Pokemon anime supports contest shipping. Here's a favorite of mine. In episode 395 titled Hi-Ho Silverwind, we see Harley, a Cacturn Pokemon coordinator. I know he uses other Pokemon, but I refer to him as the Cacturn guy. Harley makes a comment that Drew is a trainer everyone is gunning to beat. It's a legitimate way of saying, hey, your reputation is pretty impressive. Then, shortly after, Harley says, I didn't know you had such amazing friends, May. May then makes the comment, oh, we're not friends, he just likes to tease me all the time. Then Harley makes a comment about them being romantically involved, and May blushes a tad. Right here, she openly admits she's got a crush on him. Drew, however, doesn't really show a reaction, and he walks off. Clearly, the situation made him upset. He's not the kind of guy that shows true feelings. If we sum up how he took the situation, the rose, and his overall attitude, I think it shows that the feelings go beyond just friendship, but that's just me. Going into a few more important instances, we have episode 397, Rhapsody and Drew. In this clip, we see Drew training on the beach, training right after the Grand Festival. May comes out and asks him, what are you doing, Drew? Why aren't you at the party? He then states, you have to keep training or else the competition is going to pass you by. Drew then says he is already thinking of moves to use at next year's Grand Festival, and he would like to see May again. He also mentions to her that she is a great coordinator and to take care. Then, a cute anime breeze blows in the air, and she looks so adorable because he complimented her. He wants to see her again, and he compliments her improvements as a coordinator. Then Brock appears and asks, hey, isn't that Drew? May then blushes and says, yeah, we were just saying goodbye. Then her mom comes in and says, you two on the beach? How romantic. Then May says, we're just friends, denying it and whatnot. Then she tells her friends and mom that Drew really helped her and made her realize that she can be really good at contests if she just kept working hard. So, bottom line, May blushed because Drew said he wants to see her again. And her reaction when her mom teased her is clear she sees him as more than a friend. There are a couple of more cute instances too, like in episode 449. Drew is being very tsundere with his feelings when he saves Ash and the gang. He said he only saved them so that May would have people cheering her on. The dude clearly cares about her. He did it for her sake. That's cute. In episode 454, May We Hardly Drew'd Ya, May is seen talking to a coordinator named Soldad. She mentions that Drew doesn't take any advice from anyone. However, they talk about other coordinators. The coordinator he brings up the most is May. He is practically fixated on her, according to Soldad. This is evidence that Drew talks about May constantly. Back this up with Soldad's statement of, he's getting feelings for you. How I interpret this as, is Drew has gotten more competitive watching May battle and perform. Drew considers May special. Seeing her get stronger motivates him to get stronger. Though he won't admit this directly because it's Drew, and he shows his feelings through other ways rather than direct communication. He respects May and admires her. I feel he wants her to do the same for him in return. It seems he wants to be considered worthy of her because he considers her worthy as well. He's got feelings for her. It's written everywhere across the Pokemon anime. Finally, I got one more piece of strong evidence. In episode 461, May and Drew are seen talking together alone. May mentioned talking about rivals, and she mentioned Drew. Drew asked, were they good thoughts? May then blushed and said, of course they were. She also says immediately she started thinking about him. He then says, well, I'm honored. He likes the fact that they were good thoughts. Also in the original Japanese version, May's dialogue is, I've been thinking about you a lot lately. Drew's dialogue asks, thinking about me? He asks this as to confirm it. May then blushes and says, no, I don't mean like that. However, whether or not Drew means this romantically, I don't know. But I would like to think so after the relationship they've had across the anime. So overall, I think that contest shipping is the best Pokemon anime shipping. I think it's a super underrated one, and I think people are just swallowed by Ash ships that they forget this beautiful one between May and Drew. In my opinion, this ship also shows a lot more development in the romantic department of the Pokemon anime. On top of that, May and Drew aren't oblivious like how Ash is. Ash is clueless, but that's how he's written. May and Drew develop a lot across the series, and I love this ship because of it. I legitimately looked forward to seeing where their ship would go, and to be honest, I will always support contest shipping. Dawn and Kenny are also similar to this in a sense, so I respect that one as well. I want to talk about that one in a future video though. Before I forget though, let me give a huge shout out to Devoted Lamb 19 for helping me research for this video. Their video talking about contest shipping in depth was really informative, so thank you very much. I will leave a link for their video in the description below. They also have other videos talking about shippings as well. Regardless though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. To be honest, this is the kind of content I like to do, and I also have the most fun doing it. So if you guys want more of this, then let me know down below. And if you're a huge fan of Drew and May, let's get a hashtag contest shipping in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream all sorts of games from Pokemon to Fire Emblem to Zelda and much more. I also have an anime channel called MysticSage where I do anime reviews, rankings, and countdowns. So if you're interested in that kind of content, go ahead and check that out as well. If you want to support me even further and gain cool perks, check out my Patreon. These lovely people have all given me their support over there and I couldn't be more grateful to them. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.